We're live. All right, here we go. Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Geeks and Flicks. We're live. Today we're doing the scary movie rankings live. Today, to be really honest with you, today I ran a little late because I went to see A Working Man and I just jumped on and I was like, holy crap. So we're going straight in live. We go straight in. We got Tony Movie Chappie's going to be our special guest for the show. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button. So the more we continue doing these series franchise rankings, the more you guys could get it live, and then we could go right in. Nate, how you doing, buddy?
Oh man, wow, I wasn't even prepared. Great, doing well. Yeah, I had you know what? I will say this: this franchise, of all the ones we've done so far, I got through these in what felt like 6 hours because they're all so short. So at least it was real easy to get through these 5 movies. None of them are more than like 85 minutes, and I'll save something about the last one for the end. But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking. We haven't done a comedy franchise yet, so
No.
Was this a good one? I don't know. We'll see. But I'm looking forward, and I'm looking forward to have our buddy Tony on because you already know. It's even better when we got Tony live because the hot takes go from the chat to in person. So very excited to have him on, and everyone in the chat, you guys are going to be without Tony tonight because he's with us.
Yeah, no, well, that too, but then also, this is the first time you're watching all of these movies, okay?
I've never seen the last one. This was my first time watching that one.
Yeah, I never seen none of those, but we'll talk about our experiences once we get into it. Okay, so we got some good news, and then we got some bad news, right? So let's start with the good news. I want to show it off. We get into it, and we talk about it. Yes. Me and Nate are going to add another live stream soon. But it's no more movie related. Like we're not gonna watch more stuff.
Not strictly reviews.
Yeah. No. We're gonna be doing, think of it like the Pat McAfee show. Think of it that way, where we're gonna be talking about a lot of different topics, not movie related, mostly movie related, but we're gonna be going around the horn in terms of things that we enjoy and that we want to talk about, whether it's sports, movies.
Why don't we call it entertainment related?
Because
sports is entertainment, movies is entertainment, TV shows is entertainment, video games is entertainment, all encompassing.
Yeah, we're going to do some entertainment talks, and because there's some stuff I want to get off my chest about a lot of things that's going on, and we could talk about the debacle of Snow White and get into it more. That's another thing I would like to get into because it's kind of weird with some IPs around here. But anyway, that's going to be coming in a few weeks. Me and they got to patch around some stuff and then work it out. But other than that, there ain't no bad news. I was just joking with you guys. All right, let's get right into it. And let's bring in Tony Movie Chappie to the show. What's up, buddy?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Doing pretty good. How you doing?
Great. Now that you're here.
Yes.
All right. Don't seem so excited about it, Tony. Thank you for joining us. When I went and I said, I was looking for guests.
And it came out at the right time because I remember I asked you, because I was watching one of these on October, and I asked you, hey, do you guys plan on doing this movie franchise? And you said, yeah. I was like, yeah, count me in. I definitely would love to rank these for you guys.
Yeah, it was like a coincidence. I didn't even get a chance to tell him. He just asked, and we happened to have it written down. So it was meant to be.
Yes, but let's get into the financials because this is a weird freaking movie. I mean, I don't even know how to say this because this is weird. So when it comes to these movies, all right, I'm going to bring it up. Here it is. So the first one came out in 2000, Scary Movie 1, right? At a budget of $19 million, right? It grossed, and I mean grossed, over $277 million worldwide. Now, that is nuts. Then part 2 came out a year later with a budget of $46 million, and it made $144 million at the box office. And that's the one that everyone quotes because my wife was just like, oh, this is the best one. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then we sat down and watched it. Then part 3 came out, and that came out now like 4 years later because it came out in 2005, right? $45 million budget at $155 million. So it looks like the franchise is still there to the audience. It made more
3 years later.
2.
Yeah, I mean, 2000, 2001, 2003.
I'm sorry,
then a little gap.
Yeah. And then in 2006, $40 million budget at $178 million worldwide. And then, of course, Part 5 came out at $20 million at a flopping 76, I believe, $1 million.
Which is
So,
crazy because it still made money.
Yeah.
Even
So,
even the fifth one made money. All right. These box office numbers,
yeah.
I gotta say, it's interesting because look at the total production. I love this graphic you made here. If you made this, 2000.
No, I didn't make this. I didn't make this.
Okay. Whoever made this, great job. 169 total production.
Yeah.
830 total box office. Pretty good, you know? And the crazy thing is that this thing jumped around studios a little bit. You had like, I know the Weinsteins were involved in the
It
first
was mostly Dimension Film that got the rights to it a little bit, the first one.
Well, but that is the Weinsteins. So the Weinsteins were involved, Harvey and Bob Weinsteins. And then you had different distribution, like Paramount currently does a lot of the home video stuff. Lionsgate was involved in the distribution for them. You also jumped production teams. You had the first two, Keenan Ivory Wayans and the Wayans brothers, heavily involved.
Yep.
The next three, you have David Zucker, of course. If you're like an Airplane fan or Naked Gun or things like
Malcolm D. Reed did the fifth one.
He did. Well, I haven't gotten there yet, Tony. But 3 and 4, yeah, David Zucker, directing. And again, if you're a fan of those style, the Leslie Nielsen sort of parody movies, and then Malcolm D. Lee, he was a gun for hire for that fifth movie. It was still written by David Zucker.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you had two kind of different crews, and you feel it, Alex, when you watch these. There's a distinct split from 1 and 2, and then like 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
You can kind of compare, like, they're both, like I always say, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 both have distinct different styles to them. I feel how like their comedy and like styles go, you know?
Yes.
Well, 1 and 2, yeah, because it came from Keenan Ivory Wayans, which did In Living Color, so it has that.
And then David Zucker did 3 and 4, and you can definitely feel a little bit of that Zucker feel to like the brand a little bit, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, well, let's get into the first movie. Let's get right into it because I want to talk about it. Why not? Let's get into this one. Came out in 2000. I saw when I started to watch this movie, I was like, okay, I think I did see this, but I saw it once, so it's kind of brand new. But Tony, since you're first, you're the special guest. You go first. What did you think of Scary Movie 1?
When I first saw it was a long time ago, and it's always been like, I don't know how to say this, but like I know at the mid 2000s, like you had like a lot of like there was a lot of bad spoof movies like Date Night or like Epic Movie, but what I feel is Scary Movie is one of the few franchises that I actually think is one of the better ones, alongside with like Superhero Movie or like No Teen Movie, because those are actually one of the few decent spoof movies I actually quite like. But as far for the first Scary Movie, I think it's good. I like it a lot, but I don't think it's great. I don't think it's as great as a lot of people make it out to be. But I mean, a lot of the jokes I think are really funny for the most part. Like I like what the Wayans brought to the table as far as like a different kind of spoof style to it. A little bit more raunchy, a little bit more edgier, but you know what? I didn't quite mind it. But yeah, no, it's good, but I don't think it's great. Mostly due because I think it does kind of drag a little bit. Because it kind of feels a bit too long for me. I don't know. It's kind of weird because it's like 1 hour and
like 80
27 minutes.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of dragged on a little bit. So it was a bit too long for me, but it's always been like kind of like my least favorite of the 4 that I kind of watched the least. But as far as like the other 3 sequels go, but yeah, it's kind of like it's fine, but it's just not, it's not great.
All right, nice. I like that breakdown. Really,
yeah, that was good.
Into it. Go ahead, Nate.
I'll disagree a little bit. I don't think it drags at all. It's hella short. It moves incredibly fast, in my opinion. But I saw this. I'm a little, Tony's a little younger than us. I actually saw this in the theater. Came out. I was 13. So, it definitely is a different experience for me than for him watching it. first of all, when it came out, I remember, when you went over those box office totals, I remember the theater being packed when this movie came out, like absolutely jam packed, and it was a lot of fun. As far as a theater experience goes, Scary Movie 1 and 2 really both were a lot of fun in the theater. I think this one, I like this one. I think Scary Movie is funny. Not all the jokes hold up, and that's kind of a theme throughout this franchise, and some of them are very specific. For example, in this first movie, the what's up, that whole scene, that is such a product of that time, like that commercial. And the second movie has one that we'll get to then, but other than that, I think the smart thing they did was they focused on two specific movies here with Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. And this pretty much took those two movies, mashed them together, and then just threw in other references here and there, right? And I think in that regard, they did a good job. Keenan Ivory Wayans, he's directed a lot of movies. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, or I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. Isn't that the one? No. Oh yeah, it is.
And White Chicks.
Oh,
White Chicks.
Well, White Chicks was after this. I mean, I'm saying before this. Don't Be a Menace was before this movie.
Yeah.
And he had Sean and Marlon Wayans, who were coming off the Wayans Brothers TV show. You had Anna Faris, who had been in nothing really. This is kind of the thing that put her on the map. Yeah. But a fun cast. Shannon Elizabeth, Carmen Electra, very of the time people. And I thought it was a good parody of those horror movies, those slashers of the 90s. So very raunchy. Tony said kind of raunchy, filthy. This movie's filthy. But a lot of the jokes work and some don't. So I like this one. I think it's fun.
All right. So I am going to be straight up honest. And I'm going to be I ain't like none of these movies. I'm gonna be straight up. Like,
hey, that's the good thing about this. Different tastes.
I did not like any of these movies. So watching this one, like I said, I did enjoy the Marlins here and there, but as a movie itself, I agree. I was bored. I was bored. I was like, what the hell? Like some of the jokes, I was not laughing. And I guess maybe you're right, Nate, product of the times or whatever. But I was just like, nah, I'm sorry. Like there was times that I wanted to shut the shit off. I was like, I'd rather just go to the Nate or hit fast forward and let's just keep going, get to the villains. But I didn't. I mean, it is what it is. I guess my wife liked it. She was all like, can't wait to see part 2. And I was like, no, I don't. I was like, I really don't want to see part 2, but because I never seen 2 through 5, so those I never seen. This one I seen because I was remembering. I was like, oh, okay. Again, I enjoyed it for what it was, but if you tell me we're gonna sit down and watch these again, I'll be like, hell no. There's no way you're gonna sit me through this again. Again, yeah, I guess the movies they were making fun of, yeah, it's cool. I don't know. I just felt like they stretched out a lot of the jokes a lot throughout this, but I don't know. I guess for me it didn't work because I'm not into this type of comedy. So like when he said superhero movie and epic, I've never seen.
I hate that movie. Yeah, I don't.
I've never
like
seen none of those. So
no, superhero movie's good. It's just epic movie's bad.
No, they're both bad. But
no,
Alex, you will like neither of them. I promise.
Superhero movie is actually funny. I'm going to actually defend that one. I'm sorry.
Well, someone had to like it, but most people, superhero movies is very bad. Most of these are. So, Alex, I actually agree with you. I do not like spoof movies in general. I'm not even a big, and I know a lot of people love it. Like, I don't love the Naked Gun movies. I don't love Airplane. Can I watch them and will I laugh? Yes, I will laugh at parts, but this is not my genre when it comes to comedy. Is definitely not spoofs. However, within that genre, at least these movies, I have some nostalgia for because they came out when I was a teenager. So I've seen them. I can honestly say I've seen the first 3. When I was watching them, I was remembering like quotes from them. But I could see, like you said, you've never even seen 2 through 5.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine putting this on today if I've never seen it and really liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see that. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is like I love Leslie Nielsen. So like I love the Naked Guns. I could laugh and I could keep putting them on and laugh. Airplane, it has been ages since I seen it, but I think I could laugh through that. I don't know if it's because it's making fun of movies, whereas those spoofs are making fun of the genre that they're making fun of, right? Like he's a detective and he has to go through, you know what I mean? Like there's certain, like he has to go through.
Yeah,
like,
he's making
like a
fun
Pink
of like
Panther.
police procedurals.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not like a specific movie on top of a movie, on top of a movie, where this is like 3 movies in one. They're making fun of Scream, like you said.
Yeah,
Did last
these
summer.
are more specific references.
Right.
Like Airplane is making fun of those 70s disaster movies, period. Whereas not one specific one, whereas this one is very distinctly Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and then other, you know, bits and pieces here and there. So I see what you're saying for sure.
Yeah, so like for
See,
me,
that's the thing, though.
Go
Like,
ahead.
I was gonna say something like, I actually love watching spoof movies, but mostly the ones in like the 80s and 90s, I feel were like definitely the golden age for spoof movies. Like I said, you had like great classics like Airplane, Zorro, The Gay Blade, the Naked Gun trilogy, Hot Shots. Like, you had a lot of really great spoof movies at that time, and spoof movies, when it's done right, I laugh so hard when I'm watching it. It just cracks me up so much. And this one is it's good, but it's just not one of my favorites I watch in the series. So it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, I love watching spoof movies, but when it's done right, not like the other ones. Like I said, those are terrible. So yeah.
Okay. Well, what do you give this rating? What do you rate the first Scary Movie?
Probably a 6.7 out of 10. It's okay, but it's a kind of like eh.
Okay.
It's not one of my favorites
Like it.
that I
Nate,
go
what
back
you
to
got?
watching.
I like that. Yeah, I have a 7 out of 10. I like Scary Movie 1 and another one coming up. But yeah, it's good for me. 7 out of 10.
So, all right. So for me, I mean, I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit because
That's
I can
okay.
see a lot of
Speak
people.
your
No,
truth.
be honest,
loving
man.
this
It's
thing.
okay.
I'm gonna give it a 4 out of a 10
Okay.
for me. I'm
Yeah.
not. I wasn't too crazy with this, but I did laugh at certain. I think if the movie revolved around Marlon, his character, I think I would have laughed the most because his line delivery is mad funny.
Yeah.
Throughout, like, but then it just goes off and it goes to his sister Cindy, you know, Doofy or whatever.
Doofy makes me laugh. I don't,
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
know.
him.
It's so funny.
But if they kept Marlon,
Yeah.
I would have been laughing the whole time because he's
The running
Did you ever
joke of
see
like
there's
Sean.
one spoof.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there was one spoof movie that he did a while ago that was actually pretty funny. You ever see A Haunted House
no.
with Marlon Wayne?
Mm-mm.
It's basically a
it's
spoof of
actually
Paranormal
really funny.
Activity.
Yeah, it's actually really funny. I actually would
Which-
recommend that one.
Yeah, I mean the running joke with Sean Wayans and like he does all the gay stuff, but
Oh,
you're like
yeah.
he's always like I'm not gay, and
Yeah.
they're like he
Yeah.
does really like suspicious stuff. At least I will say this: at least in these first 2 movies, they're really consistent
Yeah.
with the characters, and like they behave the same way in both movies. It kind of goes off the rails after that with the characters. Well, the ones that are the ones that return, but yeah, I agree with you. I think the Wayans are the best part of the first 2 movies, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite is when Sherry O'Terry from Saturday Night Live. She was really good as the news reporter.
Yes.
She was really good, and she's interviewing him, and he was like, "I told her, run, bitch, run."
No, my favorite
man.
moment is like where she's running. Will like Anna Faris' character is like running away from Ghostface up the stairs, and she keeps like
Oh.
throwing all like the bass, like the old lady, and like the piano player down the stairs, like on like Ghostface, and he just keeps dodging it. But it's like that is like classic spoof humor right there that I just love. That stuff just makes me laugh so hard. So yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, guess what? They decided to make another movie.
Yep.
The same day, by the way, like the day the
It was
first
like
movie
the year
opened.
of.
Well, the day the first movie opened, they actually came and the Weinsteins proposed a sequel like right away. So this was made like really quickly after the first movie.
All right, Nate, take it over. Well, what do you think of this movie?
Oh, all right. Well, spoiler alert. I love this one. Scary Movie 2 is
Yeah.
my point. I don't care. Scary Movie 2 to me is the one I quote the most. Hands down, it's not even close. It has the best. First of all, it has an even better cast than the first one because you have Anna Faris and Regina Hall, who are kind of the staples of this franchise. They're in
Right.
4 out of the 5 movies. You have Sean and Marlon Wayans back, right? Then you add in Tori Spelling, okay, little 90210. You have David Cross, who's hilarious in like other stuff, as the guy in the wheelchair. You have freaking Tim Curry in this movie. James Woods is in this movie. Like just Chris Elliott, hilarious. Take my strong hand. You know how many times I've told somebody, take my strong hand? 1,000,000 times. I've said it 1,000,000 times. Or just go up to someone and just do beep boop on the nose. I've said that 1,000,000 times to people. This one is my favorite. Is it the best? Now, I don't know. That's subjective, but I will say rewatching these, this is the one again that I had the most fun with. So I know we don't like to give our rankings away at the end, but oh well, whatever. This one, I've always liked this one the best. I think it's a little less focused than the first movie as far as the story, because, but Alex, to your point, this one kind of does haunted house type movies. Mm-hmm. So you have like the haunted House on Haunted Hill, the Haunting of Hill House, those type of movies. And then they just picked and choose like the goggles, like 13 Ghosts, or like what's that? What Lies Beneath, where they're on the kitchen counter and you have that scene.
So even Poltergeist with the crown, like that's actually
Poltergeist, Exorcist at the beginning, this one has a ton of references, but I think Scary Movie 1 is a little more focused on what it's spoofing, whereas here it's a little more broad. However, I just think this one has better jokes, personally. Like this one makes me laugh more than Scary Movie 1. So I don't know if it's a better film, but I know I laughed more in this one than in the first one.
All right, Tony, what you got?
I'm going to say this right now. Like, I actually think this is a much better sequel than the first one. Now, I will say this right now. It's not my favorite of the franchise. We'll get to that at the end, but I would say that this actually, for me, has a much better pace to it, and the jokes, I think, are much more funnier and much more, like, edgier, especially with him in the crown, like that stuff like always like cracks me up so much, with like Shawn Wayans in the crown, or like David Cross. He's the best part of the entire movie. I love him, and I love like the skit in the beginning with Exorcist with James Woods as he's like getting off the taxi. And he gets off, and guy's like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
He steals the money. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, but even the scene with the Exorcist when she's like doing her tongue, and he's like, he's like flirting with her, and the priest is like, the other guy, Andy Richter, is like, what the heck, what is going on here? Or that part is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alex hates this movie. What Alex, what do you think about
it? No, you good, Tony?
I was gonna say the only problem I do have is I'm not really into like that gross out humor. Especially like even with this one, like there was a couple of more like gross out humor jokes in this one. Like I'm not really into that for the joke, like the vomit joke and stuff. Like that stuff is like okay, but it's not my style of humor that I like seeing. Like it's okay, but it's just kind of like I can leave without it. But besides that, yeah, I think it's a great follow up. It's definitely one of the most ones I rewatch a lot.
Yeah, I think in terms of movie, the second one is a better one than the first. Again, I wasn't too crazy with it. I was just like, oh Jesus. But I thought there was certain scenes in the film, I thought it was funny. I think they ramped up a lot of the sex jokes in this.
Yeah.
But again, like I'm not into this type of films, so like for me, I just didn't care for it. My wife was laughing her ass off, and she was like, "Oh, you have no funny bone today." I was just like, "These shits are not funny." I was like, "I don't get why you think it's funny," but again, I get why people like this one the most out of the 1 and 2. It does have most of the jokes. I just wasn't great. Like the beginning with the Exorcist, I was just like, "What is this?" When he went to use the bathroom and he's tearing it up, he had to bless the house. I was just like, oh my God. I was just like, geez. And it was like ongoing. But again, I think for me, I enjoyed it with Marlon. I was laughing more with Marlon Wayne when they rolled him up into a blunt. Just like, oh my God. I thought that was funny.
When his brain is Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern show.
Yeah.
When they open the head up like Hannibal.
Yeah, they did the Hannibal scene with him.
Yeah.
You know, like those scenes I laugh, but other than that, I didn't. You know, they did the Charlie's Angels, and I was just like, oh, this is corny. Like they did a lot of more pop culture movies into this one than the other one.
Well, the first one had the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
They did the Matrix scene. This one did Charlie's Angels. You know what? And the commercial. Okay, so you had the "What's Up" commercial in the first one. It's okay.
No.
This has the Nike basketball commercial. I kid you not. I laugh every single time that when the basketball comes bouncing down the stairs, because I remember that commercial, the real commercial. It's just those dudes like dribbling the basketball. So like when they put it in here. And they're like going like this to the camera, and then like Shawn Wayans is like humping the basketball on the floor, bro.
That was funny. Yeah,
I laugh so hard every single time. It is such a weird, like, it's weird. But this one to me, and Alex, I know you're gonna know probably a little more than Tony just because of our age, but this one felt more like In Living Color sketches that are really R-rated than the first movie did. This feels like a collection of sketches.
Yeah,
and it has that kind of feel to it more than the first movie. I don't know if you agree.
I agree with you on that one. Yeah, because I thought the funny. Honestly, you brought it up, but I thought that was the funniest scene of the film was the Nike commercial. And because there was some people that knew how to play, and then the other ones didn't know how to dribble. They kept slapping the ball. Yeah.
Like a body double to do that from behind.
Yeah,
you can tell it's not them.
Or the top shot of them doing it, and like that's not that guy. So yeah, I thought again, you have funny scenes like that, but then there's other scenes that I was just like, oh, like the Tori Spelling scenes was just like, oh, I didn't
with the ghost
too much. Yeah, I was just like, oh, like so. Again, most people might like it more than so. Anyway, Tony, what did you give the Scary Movie 2 out of?
I'll give this one an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay, Nate.
7.5 out of 10.
All right,
that's the cap of this series for me, pretty much. But 7.5 out of 10.
I give it a 5. I give it a 5 in the middle. I thought it was a good film, but I could see why a lot of people like it. I could totally understand it. It's cool.
And you know what else is good about this one? It's also like 82 minutes. It's short.
Yeah,
they're all short, but this one it because the plot's a little more loose. It kind of just like flies by because it's just like watching a bunch of little sketches.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Well, guess what? They greenlighted part 3.
Ooh.
Now, this one, none of the Wayne brothers are back on this one. They took over the franchise.
According to Mo and Wayne, they stole it from them.
Most likely, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
they stole it from
and they
them,
and they basically, that's the shady part is though. They basically stole their idea, their little outline they had for Scary Movie 3, and they gave it to the Zucker Bros to take over them. So that's technically Dewey was their idea that they pitched to them, but when they took it away from them, they kind of took their outlines and they gave it to the Zucker Bros, and they kind of like, hey, this is what we want you to do. So that's kind of like what happened here. But yeah.
All right. Well, Tony, what do you got? What do you think of part 3?
You know, I don't know how Nate's gonna feel about this, but I'm sorry, man, but I love this movie. I'm sorry. This movie for me, hey, this movie for me, this is my favorite, by far the best one of the franchise. Because for me, it takes the best elements of the first 2 movies and combines them here. Well, the jokes are edgy, but they're not but it doesn't have a lot of the gross out humor like that the first 2 movies had. That which I do appreciate. I actually do like that. And I loved David Zucker's take on it, because I'm a big fan of Airplane and Naked Gun and and Wrongfully Accused. Again, the guy is a genius when it comes to making spoof movies, especially of the 80s and 90s. Again, up there with Mel Brooks, definitely probably one of the best spoof directors out there working at the time. And a lot of the jokes I think are really funny. And even though you don't have the Wayans here, but I do like the replacement of Anthony Anderson. What's the guy's name?
Oh, Anthony Anderson.
Yeah, Anthony Anderson. He's really funny. I love him in it. Kevin Hart too. This was postponed. Kevin Hart, this was way before he was even famous at the time. And But by far, the best thing to have ever happened to this franchise is none other than Leslie Nielsen as the president. Like that is probably the single-handedly greatest decision they could have ever made for this franchise. Because my God, that guy is so funny. Like every time I see him in the White House, I laugh so hard, especially when he's like, "Hi, hi, hi, hi," to like the Indians, and like then like he's looking at the picture with like Harrison Ford. Like there was just so many classic like great
Well,
scenes
no,
in
no, those
this.
were
That
part 5 though, wasn't it?
no, this
The
was part 3. No, this
no,
is
That's
part 3.
when he's
the
making
White
fun of
House.
the Indians was in part 5.
No,
No,
this
that's
was part
part 3.
3.
Was it? Oh my God, they all.
Yeah, because remember the part 3 is the one to
Yeah,
back
and
you
then
up to
John
back up
Woo,
Tony throwing
his
signs. So
assistant.
they're having the press conference because there's aliens.
That's right. They
And-
had the kids.
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Yes, they had the kids. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, Tony. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
no,
right.
that's great, and yeah, no, I kind of like Anna Faris's hair better because she's blonde. I don't know why, because I just think she kind of looks better as a blonde than with black hair for some reason. But yeah, that's kind of another pro. But yeah, no, I think it's great, and it's probably in my top 5 favorite spoof movies of all time. I'm gonna go that far. I love this film. So, what do you think, Nate?
Oh,
You're right. I don't agree with you.
He threw it to you. Oh yeah. Tony,
He was right.
turn
He was
to
right. He was right. We don't agree. I don't agree with. I agree with some of what you said, and not with other stuff. So let's go with what do I think of this movie?
Uh-oh.
All right. This is one that I did not see at the theater. I only saw the first 2. Funny enough, the rest of these 3 and 4 I rented back when they came out, like on DVD. 5 was the first time watch, so I had never even seen it. So, but I've seen this one a lot on TV. You know, there are funny parts. There are moments in this movie that make me laugh. I think actually I disagree on Leslie Nielsen being the great addition because to me he just plays Leslie Nielsen in every movie. He's just like a stupid old man it's literally the same character
I know, but that's what makes him great, though. I don't.
I don't know. He just never knows what's going on, and he's old. Okay, fine, whatever. Like, not that great. To me, the funniest addition in this movie was Simon Rex. He gets almost every laugh from me in this movie. The rap battle scene from 8 Mile, like that, in that scene makes me laugh. When Charlie Sheen's talking to him, he's like, "It's because I'm black." that scene makes me laugh. Like he's funny in this. And with that being said, that's kind of my problem with this movie. The first 2 movies are scary movie focused with other stuff sprinkled in. This is spoofing stuff that's not even horror movies. Like we're going like
the
8
only one really was 8 Mile.
No. Signs is not a true horror movie. It's a sci-fi thriller
to some people.
It's a sci-fi thriller. It's not a horror film. This has The Ring. It does spoof The Ring, but most of the other gags are so far like it. It doesn't seem it's less focused, in my opinion. If you thought the first 2 movies kind of were pulling from a lot of different stuff, this is pulling from just like, and it gets worse, honestly, after this movie, but it's just pulling from any old crazy thing that they could think of that they thought might be funny. That being said, again, the 8 Mile scenes, some of them do make me laugh. But I laugh less at this one than I do at the other ones. I'm sorry. Like Tony said about it's less raunchy. And it is, and I think that hinders it for me. Like this is just.
There is an unweighted version, but it doesn't really. It's not really that different, though.
It's not. It's just PG-13 still. Like these.
Yeah.
These are. I can't think of many franchises where they went from R to PG-13 and got better, and this does not going to start here. So it just feels a little more tame, a little more like.
I get that. Yeah, I understand that, but it doesn't.
Hold on. Tell me, let me finish. It's like it's a little crass, but it's not like it doesn't push the envelope at all like the first movies did. So it feels a little neutered, and it just feels like, Jeff in the chat put it great. Starting with part 3, these are just pop culture movies, and I feel that's a very well way to put it. They're just pulling from anything and everything here. So Scary Movie 3, like I laugh, I chuckle. It's got some chuckles, but it is nowhere near as funny as the first 2 for me. So that's kind of my 2 cents on it.
All right, Tony, I love it. Tonight you're pushing back. It's great. You're doing good. Good job. Part 3 is a piece of shit. Oh my god! Tony, I love that. I love
here. That's okay.
Look, I love that you love these things, and you know what? Rightfully so, because a lot of people could love the franchises that they love for a reason. I just think they get worse by each movie that the more up it goes in the franchise, the more worse it gets. 3 was not good at all. At all. I could go with the first 2 a little bit, and I'm not a big fan of these movies, but part 3 is not good. Now, Nate, my boy Leslie Nielsen, you can't go on my boy Leslie Nielsen, because I did laugh. I'm with Tony on this one. There was certain parts in the scene was kind of funny when they're telling him, Mr. President, there's this situation going on. He goes, why are you telling me to tell the president? He was like, you are the president. He went, oh, then I'm already covered. He said, I already know. And you know what it is? I guess because he reminded me of Frank Dribbin in that part. And
you know why? Because that's who he's playing in every movie. He plays that same guy.
You're a hater.
He doesn't.
He's a hater.
No, but he was great. He was great as Uncle Ben in superhero movie. He was also.
No, he's not. He was horrible in that too. And you know what? The only funny scene that he has in this movie is when Ja Rule is like, he thinks they're aliens, and then that guy comes up. He's like, "Hey, Mr. President!"
He said, "Oh my God, they're amongst us," and he punched him in the face.
Yeah, that part made me laugh. That was his funniest scene.
I thought, that was pretty. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Aliens
punches him.
And I love
he already infiltrated the White House.
Yeah, that part was funny.
That was funny. Go ahead, Tony. What happened?
No, and I love the other bit too that makes me laugh so hard when Kevin Hart's like, yeah, man, the hood always got your back. Then when they come in, try to fight the aliens at the end, and one of them gets pissed off, and they start shooting at each other, and
that's a Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang Clan and Redman and
that's Macy Gray and all of them.
Makes me laugh so hard. Again,
it's funny when they pull out the rocket launcher.
I think it's the most funniest out of the entire bunch. For me, it's just the one I laughed the most out of. This and 2 for me. That's why
There was some parts that was funny, but when the movie started with Pamela Anderson and Jenny McCarthy, I literally thought it was like I was going to put on a porno or something. Because I was just like, what is going on with these scenes? Like, literally, I was just like, what the hell? Like, did I put the wrong movie on? But then the corny jokes, and I was just like, oh, God. But then I was just like, I didn't feel it. The ring thing was stupid. When the girl died, I was just like, this was dumb. Or Regina Hall's character.
Oh, yeah, I hate that part.
That was so horrible. They were destroying her body in the funeral wake.
Yeah, that's so funny.
And I hated. I know Nate likes the guy who plays George.
Simon
Rex. I hated that cop. Oh, I hated that character.
He was the only funniest one.
He was dumber.
Yeah.
Than dumb. Like he was dumber than Sydney, and Sydney was dumb. Like she's coolest, but this guy was just below dumb. And I was just like, oh my God. I was just like this. Like I don't know. I didn't like it as much. Charlie Sheen, I could see how he fits in this world because of the hot shots and everything. He was okay, but I don't know. I didn't feel it. I thought the mashing of the ring signs did not work for me. I thought the funny part was when they show attack here in the crop circle. I thought that was pretty funny. Jeremy Piven was actually funny as the news reporter.
The
Bruce
anchor?
Almighty, when they did the Bruce Almighty bit. In that
with the teleprompter?
Yeah, the teleprompter. I thought that was pretty funny. But other than that, like in the general, I did not like this movie. I thought it was weak in terms of the first 2. It was kind of
this movie, like the first 2 has physical comedy, but this movie relies on it so much more. Like the amount of people that get hit in the head with stuff in Scary Movie 3 and 4. It's like every other joke is just someone bumping into something or hitting their head or getting smacked in the face or getting launched in the air.
I get that, but this I think it's done pretty well. I actually think
I disagree, Tony. It's the same joke over. There's literally a part where like someone goes to like sit up and they hit their head and then they do it again.
But that's the kid though. That's a funny bit though. How the kid's always like getting bumped into stuff like that's
It's funny once. It's not funny 6 times, and that's my problem. Like
I actually think I think so.
3 and 4 rely on the same.
And 5
physical joke, and we don't get 3 and 4 more specifically. Like they run it into the ground. Where it's like, okay, we get it. Like you can't just do so many people hitting their head on stuff. It loses the joke after the 20th time.
Well, it's kind of like Three Stooges.
Yeah.
I guess, but
Yeah, but
it's
they're
not
just
that funny.
stretching. They're stretching out these comedies. But anyway, with that said, all right, Tony, what do you give Scary Movie 3 out of 10?
Probably a 9 out of 10 for me.
9 out of 10. Okay. Hey, Nate, what you got?
Yeah,
5.
it's
You give it a 5 out of 10?
5 out of 10.
All right. Well, I gave it a 3 out of 10. Just for the sequel because it's the third one. But anyway, with that said, let's go to part 4 because they decided to do and waste money for the taxes, great taxes money. The people that pay taxes, they used it for this movie. All right, Nate, what you got for part 4?
And Eli's here, by the way. Shout out to
Hey, what's
Eli.
up,
And
Eli?
shout out to everybody in the chat. Jeff, Jay, James, Scott, Rob. I know Rob was here earlier. Eli said 3 was the end. For me, 1 and 2 are 500% better than the rest of the franchise. So
I disagree.
He left. Okay, 4. Alex.
Should I go first?
No, I'll go first.
Okay.
This movie stinks. This is where this one is worse to me than 3 by like a good margin. It feels so tired, and it just somehow Scary Movie 4 feels like a spoof of Scary Movie 3. I don't even know how you could do that, but they did it. They found a way to do it because again, they mix a horror movie with
$1 Million Baby,
the Grudge instead of The Ring, and then with a sci-fi movie. This time it's War of the Worlds. Again, not a.
I mean, it is
movie.
kind of horror, so
It's not a horror movie, Tony. That is a sci-fi summer blockbuster. It's not horror. So you have
Saw.
And Saw, right? Yes,
Saw,
Jeff is right. That has Dr. Phil and Shaq at the beginning.
I know that's so
right
funny.
On that one, yeah.
Yeah. So and it just has such stupid. This one is like disaster movie to me. You got
no, I disagree. That's too harsh.
No, it's not. It's horrible. They have the things come out of the floor and they're iPods. Oh my gosh, how funny is this?
What they're called?
They're called tripods. You get it? Oh my gosh, hilarious. Also, they bring back Brenda, who died in the last movie because they knew that was a
spoof movies. There's no limit to it. That's why.
You're making a lot of excuses for why these movies are bad. They're bad because they just do stupid crap and say, "Well, spoof movie," and I don't like it. So
that's why I don't say this. I'm going to give my thoughts.
Well, I'm not done.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you off.
I know you've got Tony.
He's like,
come on, man.
Enough with your bashing.
Let me finish. This movie is I don't like it. I don't think it has very funny jokes. I like Simon Rex in part 3. He's barely in this movie. Charlie Sheen
he dies.
Barely in this movie. Did he die? I'm pretty sure he's in Scary Movie 5. He dies. They're making fun of like $1 Million Baby. They're making fun of Brokeback Mountain. Like these are not scary movies at all. It's just a bunch of random garbage. This one, I hate this movie. Actually, I think it's bad.
Okay, let me.
Now you can go, Tony. I'm done.
Bring it to reality, Tony. Tell him.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, let me just clarify this. I don't hate this movie. I have complicated feelings on this. Because on the other hand, no, I don't think it's very good. It's not horrible, but is the movie funny? Yes, I think it is kind of funny. There are some parts in there that I do think it's really funny. Like, I love the skit in the beginning with Shaquille O'Neal and Dr. Phil. That stuff cracks me up a lot. But, like, again, there's funny jokes throughout the movie, but the main problem I have is they just stretch it out way too long. Like, there's, like, potential jokes that could be really funny, like the Michael Jackson bit. Like, that could be, like, a really funny scene, but the problem is they stretch it out for so long, it kind of gets all like, okay, guys, I get it. And then, you have, like, the kids in, like, the classroom, and they keep, like, spitting out the water. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, it was funny the first time. It's like, okay, why are we... Again, the problem is... Like, there's funny jokes in it, but I just think they stretch it out for, like, way too long. And I do agree with you on, like, $1 Million Baby and Brokeback Mountain. Yeah, I that's when they started to, like, really detach themselves from, like, other franchises that's not even horror. And I just don't think it doesn't really fit, though. It just doesn't fit the tone of, like, what the first 3 movies established. And yeah, I do think it's a bit of it's definitely a big step down from 3 for me. I definitely do think it's a big step down from 3 and 2. But yes, there are funny moments throughout the movie. I do think it is decently funny, but overall, yeah, it's definitely kind of a step down. And you can and one thing I will say, you can definitely feel a little bit of burnout because since they didn't have the Wayans idea like they did with the third movie, so that's why you can definitely see like, yeah, this doesn't. You can definitely tell they're kind of like running out on ideas because since you didn't have like the original creative back for it for this one, and you only had David Zucker, and like I said, I love David Zucker, guy's a genius, but I did, yeah. I don't know. It's just a mixed bag for me. Like it's funny in some parts, but in the other parts, I'm just kind of like, like it's okay, but it is perfectly watchable. Like if I'm doing a watching of the whole franchise, I could pop in four and have like a decent time with it. Like it's okay, especially the unrated version, but it's just kind of like, eh. That's kind of how I feel.
All right. Well, I have to disagree. This movie's a piece of crap. This movie's really hard to watch. Like really, it's really hard to watch because the basis of this film does not make sense. In the landscape of sitting down and watching a movie, this thing has no plot, no nothing. It's just nonsense thrown into a piece of paper and having people act out stupid shit and slap Scary Movie 4 and go, you guys are going to get paid just to read lines. That's what I got from this. The whole plot of this movie is Jigsaw Billy had sex with a random girl and had the Chinese kid, the little boy from The Grudge, and the $1 Million Baby version of Cindy killed him when she decided to. It is so stupid. Like the chain of events,
Yeah.
and he's haunting him. Like it is the dumbest plot line I've seen. It's not funny at all. There was not many funny parts in this movie. The fake Tom Cruise wannabe, that he's the one that's doing the whole thing. The girl getting hit by cars, getting hit by lightning. He's throwing the ball, hitting her in the face. He throws the football and hitting her on the face, but then she loves him.
One
Too much. Go ahead, Tony. What's up?
No, the one moment I do love with Tom Cruise is where like they're having the door unlock, and the guy's like, "Hey, can you open the door?" And then they keep like walking each other.
Funniest
Like,
scene in the whole movie, where he
I
can't
know,
get in the
that's
van.
Yeah,
He's like 1, 2, 3. That part made me like chuckle, and that was it.
Like that's
Yeah.
actually really funny. Like I said, there's funny moments throughout it. It's just the problem is they drag it out for so long. It just doesn't. Yeah, it just like had they have like trimmed out a little bit of hours into some of those jokes and made it a little bit shorter, I think this would have been a decent entry in the franchise to kind of just mid.
No.
But yeah,
They needed to trim out the whole movie because
Trim out the whole movie,
the whole
baby.
movie. Like this was like, there's no way. There was no solvable like saving anything in this movie. Like if I was a CEO of this company and you brought me Scary Movie 4, you best to believe I'm like, we're not putting this shit out like at all. Like I would pay the Wayne brothers triple the amount to redo part 4. Like,
and you know what's crazy? This
movie
movie was 3 years after part. They had 3 years to like think of something funny, and it's somehow worse than the movies that came.
But
out.
it's not even that. It felt like they rushed the project, like you said. But they looked like they just threw shit at the wall. And it's like, oh, let's just make fun of the biggest movies that came out this year, which was like, I don't know. I didn't like this movie. I don't think it was good at all. The death scenes of them cracking their necks and Mike Tyson eating everyone's ears. And
that's kind of
like all that stuff was useless. Like it just did not make sense. Then the Oprah scene at the end was so stupid and nonsense, a waste of film.
Like again, another funny scene, but the problem is they
wasn't
drag
funny.
it
It's
out
not
for
funny.
too long.
You thought that was funny?
I don't know.
That's
it was
not
funny at first. It was funny at first, but they just drag it out way too long. So
What it like? Okay, and you know, just like you mentioned too, like the Michael Jackson scene, that was in part 3. Like they already did that. Why are you doing the same joke from the last movie but worse? It was funnier in part 3. Anyway, I want to read some of the comments because they're pretty funny. Jay said, or Triborough's here. What's up, Triborough? He said the first 2 Scary movies were his favorites.
Salute.
There's a salute. Jay says 4 was crap. Jeff, John Doe Juggalo says, what's scary about parts 3 through 5 is that they were allowed to continue using the franchise name, even though it made no sense. Super trolling.
He's
Triborough
right.
says, He's right. I agree with him.
Yeah.
Triborough says they need to bring it back to what made it hilarious in the beginning of the franchise, spoof horror films instead of just pop culture figures. Agreed, Triborough.
Yeah.
Jay called this a mixed bag of doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
I can agree on that.
Jeff says, how do you trim a movie that's already as short as Scary Movie 4? I think Alex
I could
called
do a
it.
fan
Trim
edit
the whole
of it.
thing
I'll probably
out.
do a fan edit of it one day.
And then he says they probably made part 4 just to retain the rights to part 5, which
You know what? You might be right.
Yeah, but
it could be.
It's a Dimension. It's owned by Dimension Film. I don't think you would have lost the rights because it's not really like an IP. So
It is an
It's
IP.
like an
When you
original.
have 5 or more movies, is an IP, is a franchise. Well, it doesn't even matter because the Wayne brothers got their rights back, so they own the franchise.
we'll talk about that at the end. But yeah,
And Eli says this movie is an abomination.
Yeah.
And Triborough says, "What's so scary about Oprah?
Exactly.
Why is she in this? A fake Oprah."
Oh yeah, the fake. Yeah. But again, like it was just making fun of Tom Cruise's like that real life Tom Cruise going bonkers because he married I think Katie Holmes or whoever the hell it was at the time.
which again, that's
it was
actually.
love. Huh?
That is a Mad TV sketch.
Yes.
More than it belongs anywhere near a scary movie. So, while we talked about the first couple having little asides, they're very brief. This has full sections that are nothing to do with like scary movies at all. So this one's it's a pile of crap. I hate it. I don't think it's good.
No, I agree with you. And this feels like a Saturday Night Live week that is just a piece of shit. It has like a bad host. You know what I mean? Like a horrible host, and they have bad skits throughout the whole week, like the whole show. That's what this feels like. It does not feel like a scary movie. Now, it did not. Again, I'm not defending 1 and 2, but I am going to defend it because I'm not a big fan of those. But at least you're right, Nate. Those did have horror elements. It had the scream, it had the whatever on and off it goes. What I feel like is just taking pop culture of that year or 2 gap and just smashing it into this one because part 5 gets even worse. But okay,
Don't get me started.
What'd you give Scary Movie 4?
Me
out of 10? Yeah.
Probably a 6. 6 out of 10 for me. Yeah,
okay.
It's a mixed bag.
All right, mixed bag. All right, Nate, what you give it?
1.
A 1 out of 10. I'm with you on that one. I give it a 1. This is not good at all. Okay, so this is the final one because the rights now go back to the Wayans brothers on this one. So Scary Movie 5 comes out, and this is the worst one financially out of all of them, but still made the money back. But with that said, Tony, for once out of all these, this is the worst one you think. So what you got? What do you think of this movie?
We might agree for once.
Yeah, we might agree. All of us.
Can I just clarify and say that I am a guy, especially with the 3 and 4, like I am willing to defend sequels, even like sequels that people don't usually like the Taken sequels. I'm a big defender of those. I actually think those are good movies. I've defended a lot of films. A lot of films that people say are bad, but they're not really bad movies. But I'm going to be honest. It takes a lot out of me to piss me off with the film. Usually when I watch bad movies, I'm just like, yeah whatever. I don't really think of it like next day. Like next day of something. I'm gonna say this right now. I hate this film. I despise this film on so many levels. It does what I almost hate this movie as much as I do with Too Many a Dark Fate. If it takes what was once a great franchise, a really good franchise, and just completely misunderstands everything what made the other previous entries great or like really good, and it just goes for like the lowest combinator like ever. Like when people say that Caddyshack 2 is the worst sequel of all time, I'm just gonna be like, no, you need to watch this. Because this is like absolutely dreadful. Like Caddyshack 2 is bad, but there was at least 1 or 2 moments I kind of chuckled, but like there was not one moment in here that was funny. Now there could have been funny moments had it been written well, but it is just pure laziness of it. Like like it's just the lowest combinator, and it's so heartbreaking, and it is devastating to see that David Zucker, a legendary spoof icon of the 80s and 90s, co-wrote this film with Patton Parr, another great spoof writer, which honestly kind of was just for the money. I'm just being honest. Like, this was just a cynical, at best, cash grab. And
Sean Waynes wrote this too.
no,
only character. It's like characters.
No, it's just based on characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
This was written by David Zucker and Pat Proft, who wrote 3, 4, and 5.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
and it's what's so devastating, and it's actually directed by a decent guy like Malcolm Dewey. Like, he's done some like okay movies in the past, like especially now, but like this just felt like a giant. And I know he kind of like came out and said like he thought the movie was terrible, he really crashed with like Bob Weinstein, and they took the movie away from him, and they like reshot a couple of scenes to add more like pop culture references to it. It just felt like a big giant studio hack job. It's almost like Josh this week. It's awful. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. It is up there with Battlefield Earth and Gulliver's Travels with Jack Black. Like, it is that there's no demon qualities in this. I hate this film, and I don't ever want to watch this piece of crap ever again. It's terrible.
It's all right. It's all right.
I love that.
That
was a beautiful speech. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, like I said, we might agree for once, because this is one of the worst movies I've ever watched in my whole life. I've never seen this movie before today, and I kid you not, it might be one of the worst movies I've ever watched. Like, as far as
we can agree on something. Yeah, I agree.
It's a miracle. You were right this time, because this is absolutely horrible. And when I say worst, I mean like studio movies. I'm not talking about, a movie that costs $5 to make. Obviously, that's different. Malcolm D. Lee has directed some good movies, some actually good movies. I'm not a David Zucker fan, but hey, Scary Movie 3 at least made me laugh a few times, and this got the same writers. They brought back
4 had its moments. I mean, 4 they kind of stretched it out.
Stop saying 4 has its moments. It doesn't have any moments. 4
I'm just saying. At least it was effort put into 4. Okay.
I don't think so. No, I don't. There's not effort put into 4 either. This is just worse. Like, it's just somehow worse. You got this whole like beginning scene. So at least this one, I will give it one credit, and that is that it gets back to sticking to horror movies, because this one spoofs Mama. Yes, more than 4.
This one
I bet you money more than 4. Yeah. This one sticks to Paranormal Activity 2 specifically, and Mama. That's kind of where and Black Swan, which at least are like horror movies. So I'll give it that, and that's all I'm going to give it. Other than that, they brought Simon Rex back. He's supposed to be playing the same character, even though he died.
Well, they technically recasted both Cindy and Brenda.
They're not. They're not in it. They're different characters. Like, none of these. Yeah, none of these characters are the same, except for
similarities to like both characters when they were trying to like get. I don't know. It's. What were you gonna say?
Yes, thank you. The characters are all stupid. They're all horrible. I hate all of them. None of the jokes land. I could tell you right now, I didn't laugh one time this whole movie. I didn't laugh. I didn't even smile. I didn't smirk. I didn't giggle. No. I didn't chuckle. Nothing. I didn't. And the crazy thing is, Alex, when this movie was going, I'm watching it. It's over, and I check, and the movie's only 72 minutes long, because the last 13 minutes is just like bloopers over the credits. The plot of the movie, the story, 72 minutes. And they make fun of like the Evil Dead remake. So again, my one point is that at least it makes fun of scary movies. All the rest of the minus points being for it's an absolute abomination. I hated this movie.
You go, Alex.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say this quick thing, because the biggest sin that this movie does is it's just not funny. Because all I ask for, like, even if you even if you have like a bad comedy, at least make me laugh. Like, I like Norbit. Like, Norbit is a bad movie, but it at least made me laugh a lot. Okay, I laughed a lot watching Norbit, and that same goes with Holmes and Watson with Will Ferrell. Again, it's a bad movie, but I at least chuckled a few times. This did not make me laugh. once. Like there was some jokes that I think could have worked, but again, it's just ways we put together. It's just they just didn't care. Like it's clear that nobody wanted to make this movie, and they were just kind of forced to, just for like probably money purposes, just for the Weinsteins can make something out of it. That's why it's just yeah, it's the cynical type. It's just a cynical type of cast grab because like even if you have a cast grab, like at least put some effort into it. That's all I ask for. But no, there's there's nothing in here that I think is redeemable. What do you think, Alex?
Well, thanks for throwing it back at me. Thank you so much. No, I agree with everybody. This is not a good movie. Like I said, it got worse from 3 on up. I did not laugh at it, not once. The beginning scenes with Lindsay Lohan or whatever her super name. Yeah, her and Charlie Sheen in the bed, and he has all the cameras on one, and then he's recording all the sex acts, and he takes the Viagra, and his penis is big, and he's slapping it around, and he throws himself out. It's just like,
that was part 4.
Was that part 4?
That was the beginning of part 4.
Oh my
yeah, that
God.
was part 4.
No, I thought part 4 was the beginning with Shaq and the Saw.
It is, but the first scene after that is him with the Viagra, and then he jumps off and then this one is, you got most of that right. Lindsay Lohan and that's there.
Oh yeah, see,
I think this franchise was very forgettable for Alex. That's why Alex barely.
No,
you just mushed them all into one movie.
Well, this is the thing that's so hard for me with these movies. They use everybody over and over in every movie, so it's hard for me to go, this is the beginning of this one when Lindsay Lohan was in the other movie with Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen is in this one, so it's like, then he dies and he's in another character. So like again, they recycle actors. And then it's like, it's so hard to pinpoint which movie's which because they're so confusing. And here, look, this movie's bad. I never seen Paranormal Activity, the scary version, the horror one. I never seen that.
It's great. I love that franchise.
Pretty happy for you, but I ain't gonna watch now. She knows. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to this, I really understood what they were gonna do. The Evil Dead bit was the dumbest part in the freaking film, when they keep turning on the demon and then turning it off, and they all wondering why they cut each other. Like, that was so stupid. Again, not redeemable, not funny at all. Again, this is the first movie, the entire franchise that Anna Faris is not in it. I don't believe she's in this movie, right?
No. Well, they have offered roles to both Anna Faris and Regina Hall and Anthony Anderson, and they all just turned it down.
Yeah, so they did. So this is the first film without them lead.
The only one without Regina Hall and Anna Faris.
Yeah, because then Anthony, the other whatever his
no,
name. Yeah, Anthony Anderson and Kevin Hart was in this one.
No, they weren't.
Oh, they were in part 4.
That was Snoop Dogg.
Oh, that was Snoop.
That's Snoop Dogg and Mac Miller.
That's right. They were making fun of the Friday the 13th, right? Looking for the weed.
And then they're like cabin in the woods.
And then cabin in the woods. Yeah, and then they started shooting up the place.
They keep pulling out the guns for like freaking. The joke goes on for like 5 minutes. It's like,
that was horrible. But anyway, I assume that we all giving these ones.
No, 0. I give this no points. 0.
Okay.
See, right there, Nate is speaking my language right now. Yeah,
wow.
I give this 0 as well.
Love it. All right, Nate, read some of the comments so we can go.
Oh yeah, baby. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Triborough says, Jeff says, you know what's truly scary? I only own part 5 on physical. So,
oh my God.
Sorry, Jeff. Weird call on this, but yes. Okay. Triborough says they could have made a whole new spoof franchise just making fun of pop culture celebrities instead of calling them scary movie.
That's true.
Our buddy JB is here. What's up, JB? I didn't know they even made a scary movie sequel. I may watch it now. Everyone have a good week. Go Dodgers. Don't watch it, JB. Change your... Hopefully you
actually, no, he should at least watch it just to see how bad it is.
Don't do it. No, don't waste your time. Scott says, I like hearing Tony say he's pissed off. Trevor said they need new writers. Jeff says, hey now, how dare you bring in Battlefield Earth into this? Scary Movie 5 is worse than that. Oh. Jay says, hot take.
Hey, let me just say this. I say it's as bad as Battlefield Earth.
He's saying it's not. He's saying this is worse.
Battle Earth, yeah.
Jay says, hot take. Gulliver's Travels is a masterpiece. Jack Black is the best actor in my opinion.
Oh God, that movie is
I think he might be.
Horrible.
I think he
Oh
might
my
be
God.
acting as you tonight in the chat. And Tony hot
Maybe.
takes.
Ugh.
Jay loves Norbit.
Oh, I love Norbit. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna
me
lie.
too.
I like my Norbits.
Y'all can have your Norbit. I'm good with that.
Have your Norbits.
Jim says it's almost like they tried to make part 5 a sequel to part 3 just based on the cast.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
James
agree.
says 5 came out when the spoof movie had already run its course again, and they were all bad. Movie 43 and this one came out in the same
Well,
year.
but doesn't that's not really spoof though? That's more of like bad sketches, like
Sure.
SNL sketches.
Sure. Movie 43 and this one came out in the same year. All trash. They sort of died out after this because they stopped being funny.
I mean,
Trevor
the only
says-
real good one was, like I said, A Haunted House. That was like the last like actually good spoof movie I actually liked. Besides that, yeah, I agree.
I didn't like
Yeah,
that
they're
movie
all-
either. Trevor says Snoop Dogg will do anything for a check. And Eli says the only good thing about 4 is that it isn't 5.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
I own
God.
the first 4 right here. I have 1, 2, 3 to 4. So yeah, I
I
have
got
these on Blu-rays.
I brought the digital packs, and I got all 5 of them.
That's
I
why I
got
feel
1
bad
through
for
3
you.
on disc, and they're in the trade pile already. There's no way. I like 1 and 2, but I put the digitals on my Voodoo. I'm good. I don't need them. I'm not going to watch any of these again, I don't think, anytime soon.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I buy the digitals. If I know I'm never watching them, I buy the digitals and let it just go there. And
I wouldn't even buy it on digital 5. Like that's like ugh.
Yeah, but you
No,
bought
I
the
don't.
Blu-ray.
I have to rent that crap.
Don't you have part 5 on Blu-ray?
No.
Oh, you have part 4, but you have part 4.
I
and
have
3.
4. I only have the first 4, and that's all I care about owning.
Yeah, get it right, Alex. Come on,
Yeah,
you
you went,
relax.
What's wrong with you, you idiot?
Yeah, you
All right.
maniac.
You fool.
Here we
All
go,
right.
baby.
It's time to rank the scary movie franchise, and I'm gonna have a hot take about this franchise at the end. It might go up there
I love
for
it.
me, but anyway, okay. First things first. You guys know what it is, how we're gonna do this. We're all gonna pick the worst one all the way to the best one. 5, 2, 1. So with that, Tony, you could go first. I'll let you go first because
I mean, I think we're all pretty much in agreement that 5 is most definitely the worst one. So I think it's gonna be 5 for me.
All right. So you're gonna pick 5 as number 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
mine's number 5
let me
easily.
just put that there. And then go a little bit of bum. Nate.
Yeah, you can just go ahead and pop that in. It's the same.
What you
Just
got,
put it in
5?
front. You know it's not 5. Yeah, 5 is the worst.
All right. Yeah, I think we are all in agreement. We're gonna pick. Boop.
Save a little time.
We'll
Shave
save
off
time.
a couple minutes here.
5 and 4, we're gonna save time on those. 5, 4, and 3, we're gonna save time on those 3. All right. Tony, what you got for part number 4?
I'm kind of mixed on this one because I'm debating whether I should put 5 or 1 on 4.
You mean 4 or 1?
4 or 1, yeah.
Yeah. Because 4 I do think is kind of funny, but 1 is funny, but it kind of drags a little bit. So it's like now as far for quality wise, which one is better? Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go with 4. Yeah, 4 is put 4.
So 4 is your number 4.
Yeah.
Okay. You go through all that. All right. Nate, what you got for number 4?
Yeah, so we're going to be in agreement at this point, me and Tony, because I also have 4 at 4, but we don't agree in that I think it's horrible and he thinks it's kind of funny. Like, to me,
it's
like,
kind of decent for me. That's all.
It's kind of horrible for me. So it's number 4 and it's bad.
All right. Well, we all agree on this one. I hate part 4. We all agree
writing was on the wall.
5. Yeah, the writing was on this one. All right, Tony, what do you got for number 3?
Easily number 1.
Oh, okay, change it up. Love it.
Eli said comparing part 4 to part 1 is like comparing LeBron to him in basketball.
All right, Nate,
That's
what
funny.
you got for number 3?
All right, so honestly, number 3 for number 3. And I'm not trying to be unoriginal here, but I mean, at the end of the day, you made a great point, Alex. There's sort of diminishing returns with every movie. So,
well, Dewey made the most money. Dewey made over like $200 million.
Yeah, 3 was the most money, but
it doesn't matter. You know why? Because it was PG-13, so a bunch of kids buy tickets to it. So, 3 has a couple of parts that make me chuckle, but overall, pretty weak.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with 3 on this one because 3 was just really trash. I didn't like it. So yeah, again, I don't like this franchise, but 3 was really bad. I can't. 3 through 5 is just the worst. All right, Tony, what do you got for your number 2?
Again, it kind of sounds cliche, but yeah, it's number 2.
Number 2. 2 is number 2. All right, cliche mache. All right, boop. All right, Nate, what you got for number 2?
For me, so this will be the only difference here because for me, number 2 is gonna be number 1, Scary Movie 1. I like Scary Movie 1, I do, but I like another one just a bit more. So that's my number 2.
All right. Again, it doesn't matter 1 and 2 it is because never watching them again. So it really doesn't matter because I ain't watching none of these again. So, but I agree. If I had to pick, what's my number 2? I gotta
Come on. What do you got?
Wait, who's A. Figueroa? Alex should just put all of his choices in the number 5 category. Oh, that's
who's
my
A.
wife.
Figueroa? Your wife?
That's my wife. Yeah. Oh man, now she's gonna blow up my spot. All right, I'm gonna go with number 1 as my number 2. I agree. I didn't like this one as much, but there were jokes there that was way better than 3, 4, and 5. And I liked. I still like Marlon Wayans. He's like, yeah, son.
Yeah, he's great.
He's
great in both of those first 2.
Yeah, that was. Oh, the other guy was funny too. The guy that hit the guy with the car. The one that was he's the one that got in the sunroof. And he was getting hit by the tree, and he got the beehive on him.
Oh yeah. When they're making fun of the "I know what you did last summer" part.
Yeah,
the boy, like the other boyfriend guy.
Yeah,
the blonde guy. Yeah.
That he was mad funny. All right, Tony, you're number 1. If I have this,
I mean, it's easily 3.
Number 3,
easily 3. That's wild.
That's the craziest thing.
I think it's the most funny out of the entire franchise. And if I'm ever in a mood to watch a scary movie, 9 times out of 10, 3 is the most one, and then 2 as well are the ones I always pop in the most to watch.
Okay. All right.
Now everyone knows what Alex. You could just pop ours in because they're the same. But I want to read some of the chats because this is pretty funny. First, Triborough says, Tony, burn those DVDs. Stephanie chimes in. She says, I love the first 2. I will rewatch the 3rd, but 4 and 5 are non-existent to me. Jeff agreed with her. Triborough said 3, 4, 5 straight trash. Jay Manley, you, Alex, me, and Jeff all have the same ranking. So 2, 1,
Really?
3, 4, 5. Yes. All have the same ranking as far as that goes. Your wife calling you out, say put them all at number 5. Yeah, and Trevor says this might be the most predictable movie ranking we've done so far. I don't disagree.
I agree in that sense, and this is where I wanted to say it's gonna be. I mean, again, people are gonna hate it. It is.
Where's your hot take? Oh yeah,
my hot take is this franchise is worse than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Whoa! And you hate that one?
And I hate that. Nate knows I hate that shit with a passion. The Texas Chainsaws, like no, I hate them.
I pitched the idea of a potential ranking.
Oh, we'll definitely do a Texas Chainsaw ranking when they ever decide to do a brand new movie. At least we can add that into the franchise. Like
we'll do horror. We're gonna do horror ones.
We'll do more horror related franchise rankings. Right now, we're just getting our feet wet in this and having fun with them. But we'll do more than one horrors throughout a year. But in this one, I gotta say this has to be one of the worst franchises. It's hard. Like they all again. I like 1 and 2 a little bit, but they all garbage. Like at the end of the day. Oh boy! Hey,
so this is funny. Jay says, of course, Tony picks number 3 as his number 1. He likes blondes. Remember, and of course, change their hair color. Yes, Angelina says when Alex went to buy these movies, I said just rent them because I know you're going to hate them. But she loves 1 and 2.
Yeah, she loves those. Yeah. She loves them.
Tribor laughing. Scott says that's the wildest things I've ever heard Alex say. Yeah. Eli says Texas Chainsaw at least has 3 good movies. This one only has 2. So
wait, 3 good Texas Chainsaws?
There's 5 in that franchise.
I thought the remake with Jessica Biel was really good. The OG, those two.
And
I
like the
like.
beginning.
I think the beginning is. I think the beginning is okay.
I don't remember that one. Which one's that one? Is that the one Jessica Biel?
That's the prequel to the
sequel,
Jessica
or
Biel
to the
one.
remake.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna have to rewatch it.
We'll do that one. We'll do that one later in another day.
rewatch
We gotta figure that one out.
We gotta remove something just to have fun.
But
with
I agree with
everybody.
his point of like, to me, this is a 2-movie
agree.
franchise. It's just
It
1 and
is.
2. Like and you know what? They're making a part 6, and
But the good
Sean
thing
and
is-
Marlon Wayans are the ones.
Yeah,
that are doing
they're
it.
back now, and I'm so happy.
Oops.
Whoa,
What happened?
you're back. What were you saying?
No, I was gonna say no. I think getting the Wayans brothers back was
Yeah.
probably the best single-handedly decision that they could have ever done. Because I think they were the only people, if you were gonna bring this franchise back to get a little bit of excitement, when you say that we're gonna bring back the Wayans guys to come back, and it's actually gonna be all rated this time, they're not gonna go for PG-13, and that's actually for me that's great. And yeah, they're the only ones that I think that can redeem this franchise and not and at least end it on a decent note, at least, and not end it with Scary Movie 5. So
Well, not even that.
So,
I just think if it's gonna be in the hands of Marlon and Sean Wayans and the Wayne family, I have a feeling it's gonna be the Scary Movie reboot. I think that's what they'll try to call it.
yeah, I think they
and then
said
just,
that.
Yeah,
But,
it
and
might
I
just
think they said
reboot it.
that. And I think they said everyone's coming back, like Anna Faris and Regina Hall. Like, I think they pretty much said everyone's supposed to be coming back.
Again, once they found out that those guys were attached, everyone's gonna come back because they're the ones who created it. So again, once there's more news on it, then we'll cover it or do whatever. We'll talk about it more. But as of right now, he released it. Everyone is excited for it. I just think he wanted to put the word out there, going, "There's gonna be a new movie with them in it." And
it's the first movie they've done together in like 18 years or something. Like, I'm excited for that because I grew up on their TV show and like some of their like White Chicks and even that stupid Little Man movie.
White Chicks.
You know what I mean? Like, so I'm looking forward to it from that perspective. If they bring back Anna Faris and Regina Hall, I think that'll be great. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it because I like the first two, and I'm hoping it's more that than 3, 4, and 5.
I think it's gonna be more grown up since they're grown ups. I think they're gonna it's gonna be more serious spoofs.
But R-rated is what it needs to be.
Yes, I agree. If it's PG-13, then everyone's gonna check out. They're gonna be like, nope, sorry, buddy. But no, I think Marlon will take it where it needs to.
Well, also they're making a new Naked Gun movie with Liam Neeson. That's also coming out this year. Hey man, I'm excited for it because I'm a spoof fan, and I'm hoping with Scary Movie 6 and this new Naked Gun movie that we can finally get back to
the renaissance of the spoof movie.
Yeah, the spoof movie genre again, but let's do some really funny ones. So I have high hopes for this new Naked Gun movie that's coming out this year. So yeah,
look, you're happy for it. I'm happy for you. But in reality,
he's happy for you.
Yeah, I'm happy for you that you want to see it. I'm a big fan of the originals, and I can't see
I love the trilogy.
I can't see Liam Neeson as Detective Frank Drebin and then Pamela Anderson as
well, no, they didn't. They're not recasting. No. Liam Neeson's going to be playing his son, Frank DeMerich Jr.
Even worse.
So he's going to be the son of Leslie Nielsen.
Now you just made me not want to
We'll see.
it.
Who knows? Maybe the trailer will be horrible. I don't know. Maybe I'll lose faith in it. But let me just see what the first trailer is going to be.
Okay. Well, I'll give you the first trailer. I'll give you the first trailer. And then we'll go from there. No, but
I don't even care because I don't even love those movies. So whatever. Cool. No, it might be good. It might suck. I don't care. I don't like.
It's got Akiva Goldsman is directing it. That's the guy who did. He's from The Lonely Island, and he did The Watch, The Pop Star, and the Chip and Dale movie. Yeah, like he's actually a really funny guy. So that's why I have high hopes for it.
All right. Well, look. All right, guys. That was our Scary Movie franchise ranking. All right. Now, if you thought that next month was gonna be a long one, let me tell you. We're going. We're boldly going.
Oh, that's not yet. Not yet.
What's next month?
One more in between. We have one more in between. You almost got him.
Oh, I almost got it. Where are we going next?
That's okay. Next month, we're gonna have our buddy. You know him. You love it. Maybe you love him. I don't know, but you know him. The Bin Buster will be joining us for a franchise ranking of the Oceans movies. So this will be
the next one.
That is April. That will be Oceans
I own
11,
those
the original, with the Rat Pack, of course, Dean Martin and all them.
So 4 movies.
5 movies, because we're also doing Oceans 8.
Oh,
that's
females.
That's the Sandra Bullock one?
Yes.
So another 5-movie franchise.
Okay.
Just to whet your palate until May is the big. That's the big one, Alex.
We'll reveal the big.
We'll reveal that one then. But Bin Buster will be here. 5 Oceans movies. We're doing a little heist, a little Vegas. I like those movies from what I remember. I've never seen the original, so I'm actually looking forward to it.
You know what? I think going forward, and mark my words, people, and I will do it if I say I'm going to do it. Going forward, I will be dressing up in the theme of the movies. So for Oceans, I'm going to dress up in a nice suit like they do in the movie. And then going forward, we'll have fun in dressing up. Oh, I'll dress up. You don't have to do it.
I thought you got to dress up as the ocean.
You could dress up like water. You should dress up like a hotel.
Yes,
the Sands Hotel.
Oh, like the Bellagio.
Yeah, the Bellagio. There you go. You should get a Bellagio shirt from a thrift store. The Bellagio.
I'm gonna check Amazon for like a Bellagio shirt and
a hat, because it'll be easy. To
I haven't seen those movies in a long time, and I saw the
the
Sandra Bullock one recently, and I thought that one was okay. I thought that one was pretty decent, but yeah, I haven't seen no movies in a while, and I do own them. I own the first 3 movies on Blu-ray, and maybe I'll watch it for the anticipation of this ranking. For that would be kind of fun.
I will say this: in terms of the Oceans movie, I seen the original where Frank Sinatra like 3 times. That was one of my dad's favorite heist movies.
Is the Matt Damon one? Is that a remake?
Yes, the Oceans is a remake. Yeah, so the ones with George Clooney is a remake of the Frank Sinatra ones. Yeah. So Oceans 8, I seen it once. Yeah, I seen that one once. The other ones I see, so me and my wife always watch the Oceans. Yeah, those we always watch them because they're so well done. Those are so good, but I can't rank them. Baby. It's so hard to rank them, and this is the first time I'm going to be ranking them.
I have a ranking like in my head, but I don't know if it's going to change when I
think it's going to change. For me, it's going to change. Yeah. If I will say it now. I'll say it now because it's going to change. I already know. If I'm going with the 3 original, okay, the 3. I'm not going to add 8 and Frank Sinatra because I haven't seen those in a while. Okay. So if I want to go 3, if I'm picking my 3rd movie, it's going to be part 2 with Catherine Zeta-Jones.
When they go to Europe.
Number 2. Yeah, when they're in Europe. Yeah. And if I want to pick my number 2, oh my God. My number 2 might be...
are so similar.
Yeah, I might go number 1, Ocean's 11 as number 2, and then 13 as my number 1 because I love Al Pacino. Oh, Al Pacino's good in the movie. But like I said, it might change after I watch it. But if I'm going to do it, it will be my number 1 will be 3, my number 2 would be 11, and number 12 would be 3. That might change though.
I would flip. I would have my pre-ranking rankings would be 11 as the best, 13 as the second, and I agree with you, 12 as the third. But again, I have not seen. Yeah, I have not seen these in easily 10 years at any of them. So this is gonna be and I've never seen the original, and I've seen 8.
You've never seen it?
I've never seen it.
Oh, so I think you might like it because I know you like some old stuff, but you might like it. That was my dad's like joint. And especially
this is gonna be better than the scary movie watch through.
Oh yes, it's gonna be way better. We're gonna have fun with the Oceans more than what we did with Scary Movie. Do you have a pre-ranking, Tony? Which 1, 2, and out of the 3 Oceans?
I don't know. I haven't seen these movies in forever. I have to rewatch them again. So, I mean, I did really like the Sandra Bullock one a while back, but that's not one it was just a one-time watch for me. I have to rewatch that one again. So.
All right. Well, there you have it, guys. You guys want to join us on our Oceans Watch Through, whatever you want to call it, series rankings. Again, it's going to be next month. It's going to be our next franchise ranking. Again, within 4 weeks from now?
I'll tell you the date right now. Today's the 30th, so it'll be April the 27th.
April 27th.
You have 4 weeks to watch 5 movies.
There you go. April 27th, we're going to be having the Ocean's 11 franchise ranking. We're going to be doing Ocean's 11 with Frank Sinatra from 1960 something, I believe it was 60s, something like that. And then we're going to be doing the Ocean's 11, 12, and 13, and then of course Ocean's 8 right after that. So that's a 5 franchise film right there, just for fun. Love it.
Yeah, because the next month after that, 13. So get ready for a fun time.
We're gonna reveal the 13 one.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really interesting in April. We're going to be doing that in April. But again, we're going to, not April, May. May is going to be the 13 one. Next week is going to be 4 weeks. We're going to be doing part 4. So with that said, it's going to be fun. So again, guys, thank you so much for everyone joining us on the chat. We'll see you guys April 29th. But we might have a special show in between. In 2 weeks from now, we might do a live show. We just got to pick a date. Once we pick a date, then we'll give you guys our live show. But again, it's going to be a very news topic, genre talking. Give our opinions on a lot of stuff we want to talk about, sports related, entertainment related, and have your opinions on it. We might even open up phone lines again so you guys could call in and let us know your opinions on stuff. But
I've done that, and that doesn't really work on my phone.
Yeah. What?
We'll figure it out with you, Tony.
Yeah.
And by the way, everyone, give a shout out to Tony. Great job tonight, Tony. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for I always love getting your opinion on movies because it's so different than mine. And I love that you always stick to your guns, even if your guns are shooting in some crazy directions. I like that.
Hey, I may have some hot takes, but hey, I gotta be honest with myself. Even if I get a lot of crap for it, I'm just like, hey, I just gotta be honest.
You just gotta be honest, and I love that.
Yep. But thank you so much, Tony, for joining in. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a good night. And again, thank you so much, everybody. Have fun. Be awesome to each other. And I hope I had to hit the right button. Anyway, be awesome to each other and geek.